Hello, guys. She's calling her other baby. There's my mama. Two of her kids. Here comes the other one. Not that guy, that's Rick. There's the baby. They're about a week and a half old now. They've kind of been my entertainment and distraction the last few days. They're so cute. Mom says no milk right now. They're doing really well. Yeah, they don't care about what's going on in the world. They were just living their lives. They don't have to think about things like we do. I did think the other day about what I would do if we all got very sick at our house. I guess I'd probably just let them out if I couldn't take care of them for, I don't know. They wouldn't go anywhere if I let them out. I don't know. I think about that stuff sometimes. I had mentioned to my husband the other day that I hope, well, I mentioned to him just with some of the overthinking I'd been doing and probably, a little paranoia about what's going on in the world and everything else. I was thinking about, all of these skills that I've acquired in the last few years as far as, growing food and raising chickens and goats and homesteading and that sort of thing. I wonder if I'm going to actually need those skills soon. Some people are going to say that we will need those skills because things are really going to fall apart, and other people say it's going to go back to normal. I'm not sure. I'm not ready for it to be back to normal yet. Not that I want people to be sick, I don't, but I'm kind of, as I knew I would, I'm kind of liking this time of just quiet and being able to do things at a pace that isn't rushed. But then at the same time, not having a schedule and the unknown of knowing when, we'll get back to normal, when I'm going to go back to work. When I do go back to work, is it going to be anything like what it was before? If the government in the United States right now is trying to push forward this huge financial stimulus package to send money to Americans to help us out right now, because the vast majority of us are not working. A lot of us can't get unemployment benefits because if we're self-employed or whatever, yeah, it's... So they're trying to push forward this benefit package and to send us money. And although I need that, I'm not working right now, and we can survive with my husband's income alone. It's pretty tight. It would be pretty tight. It's okay so far. But I worry about, the being sent money from the government. Is that something that they're doing to keep us quiet, to keep us civil so they can move forward with their next part of this plan of whatever's happening? It just is so bizarre the way that this whole virus is being handled and how the whole entire world has reacted. And I don't know. But at the same time, I know it's in God's hands. I know that I feel peaceful about it, and I'm still thinking and thinking, still trying to figure stuff out for myself, for my family. The extroverts in my house, my children, are starting to have a little bit of a hard time being home all the time with no outlet and no social interaction other than with their family. But definitely a time to think about what's important, like I talked about in our, the Spring Clean Your Life video, which was my last video. Think about what's really important for yourself and your life. And I think we're being called back to our families. We're being called back to the basics of things. And well, mom's calling her babies and they're not listening. They're kind of naughty. They don't really listen to her all the time. But I think there's going to be some changes in our culture. Some of them good, some of them bad. I think we're getting called back to what's important. We're getting called back home. Families have been very different in the last 10 years. Since I've been paying attention to what families were like, families have been very different than what they were even when I was a child, 30 years ago. Very different. And I think this time is definitely giving us an opportunity to look at what our family is like, what it's really like when we're together and there's no distractions and we can't run away from each other and we actually have to interact and we have to be together and we have to figure out how to make things work with what we have. And making things work with what we have is not something in American culture that we want to do. We want to go buy different things. We want to distract ourselves and run around and not think about things. Maybe not us INFJs. We love to think about things, but, the majority of culture doesn't want to think about things. I don't know what my point is here today, guys. Anything that was on my list of topics to talk about at this point feels a little bit irrelevant. I have a hard time convincing myself to talk about any of those things right now because there's some huge changes going on in the world, in our culture, in the spirit realm. God is speaking. I hope you are listening. I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to remain open. I've just spent some time outside by myself, getting my private time, I guess, with God and with my own mind, without the distractions of, indoors and my family, and making maple syrup the last few days, which is good. And the snow is finally melting. It's going away. I'm not sure. I've noticed, I'm not sure if any of my topics are relevant right now. So for today, this is what we have, just me rambling about what's in my head, emptying the loop out. I'm wondering if my obsession over the last 5+ years with homesteading and self-sufficiency and making my own food is going to be something that is no longer a hobby and is something I need. We'll see. I hope not. I hope it continues to just be a hobby and be fun and not be my life's work and survival. I hope you guys are all well and safe. And I hope that, I'm praying still for peace and comfort for everyone and to feel no fear. And to be able to spend this time reflecting on what's really important. Like I said, live and love out of the way you were created. Have a beautiful day. Thank you so much.